We have to talk about this. Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC, who's a lovely guy, by the way. I met the man and the guy is an absolute gentleman. Mauricio just came out and said that Manny Pacquiao has officially passed all of his VADA drug tests. The WBC clean boxing program is associated with VADA, and Manny Pacquiao actually passed all of his tests, which is a massive deal, especially because of the controversy that's been surrounding Manny Pacquiao throughout his career, that the man is on PEDs. We gotta talk about this, because in that Keith Thurman fight, it was a WBA championship fight, not WBC, and there was no drug testing in that fight. This is a massive deal. I don't think people understand how significant this is. Now, I'm not accusing the great and legendary and iconic Manny Pacquiao of taking steroids or taking PEDs, but you know, if you sign up to a championship fight and you demand no drug testing and you're 40 years old, we gotta have suspicions. We can't just ignore that, even though we all love Manny Pacquiao. But we gotta be honest, we gotta be completely transparent here. And there's even an interview of Freddie Roach years ago in the Wildcard Gym. I believe the interview was with Radio Rahim, I believe. And I believe that Freddie Roach insinuated that Manny Pacquiao might have been doing some things that he shouldn't have been doing with his previous strength and conditioning coach. And even Freddie Roach said that I didn't agree with what Manny's S&C coach was giving him, or something along those lines. Don't quote me on this. But when there's smoke, there's fire. But in this fight, we shouldn't talk about the past, let's talk about the present. In this fight, we were all wondering, is Manny Pacquiao actually clean? Is he actually clean coming into this championship fight versus the great, the young, the future Hall of Famer, the future legend Mario Barrios? Is Manny Pacquiao really clean? Now, I didn't even think that Manny was gonna actually take the WBC championship fight purely because of the drug testing. But with Manny Pacquiao accepting to be enrolled in the WBC clean program and accepting the WBC championship versus Barrios, that shows you that Manny Pacquiao doesn't have anything to hide right now, at least. And you gotta take your hat off to Manny Pacquiao. You know, the man is 46 years old now. Can we actually know for a fact if Manny Pacquiao has been taking anything in his time off in the last 5 years? We can't really know that for a fact. We will never really know. This is the real answer. We will never know, because Manny never really tested positive. But with me being in sports since I was a kid, and with me being absolutely obsessed as a kid with PEDs and drug testing scandals, I'm going to be honest, I've always thought that Manny Pacquiao, you know, this is just my opinion, I've always thought that Manny Pacquiao wasn't a clean athlete. But in his era, who was clean if you really think about it? If you actually think about it, in the Manny Pacquiao era, most of the fighters back then were on some stuff, because drug testing wasn't as advanced as it is now. And you don't have people like Victor Conte, who's actually now went on the other side, on the right side, on the correct side, on the moral side, with VADA. He's actually helping VADA. So Manny Pacquiao, you know, now all we can do, as long as he doesn't test positive after the fight on his fight night drug test, this is a done deal. The man passed all of his drug tests. Now, does that mean that he wasn't on something before this camp started? No. Does that mean that it's impossible for Manny Pacquiao to microdose? No. But with him being 46 years old, it is impossible for his testosterone levels to be as high as a young man like Mario Barrios, who's 16 years younger than him. So in all actuality, we will never really know on whether Manny Pacquiao was on PEDs at any stage of his career. But one thing we do know for sure, that the man has passed all of his drug tests leading up to this fight. And he's been getting tested by VADA. VADA, in my opinion, they are the best. They're better than USADA, way better than USADA. So, all we know for now is that Manny Pacquiao has passed his drug tests according to Mauricio Sulaiman. And that is an incredible thing to hear, and a very positive thing to hear. Because at the end of the day, this is a very dangerous sport, and all we want for these modern day gladiators is to compete on an even playing field. So much respect to the WBC, even though, we might disagree on a lot of things. And much respect to the great Manny Pacquiao, and much respect to Mario Barrios. All parties deserve massive credit for this monumental news, and bring on Saturday.